my neck. Golly. Welcome to another episode of Can We Please? Can We Please? Take two. Trash talk, take two. Crash talk, take two. Y'all, welcome to another episode of Can We Please? We're going to do basically almost like a part two of my last episode. For Rockstar, things we're going to need before GTA 6, alright? I got my notes here, and I'm about to put y'all in check, alright? This ain't going to be a long one. Put y'all in check. We got some ideas, alright, y'all? This came from the last episode where I talked about race creator improvements and things that I wanted to see improve with the creator. And this is a take two, alright? This is a part two, and I need to address this, alright? First, for everyone that's listening, anyone that had a PS3, I think this was a PS3 game. Let me double check. Who remembers the game Mod Nation Racers? If you do, put your hand up. All right, but put your hand up. Put your hand up. Anybody? Mod Nation Racers? Yeah. Okay. We're actually home. I'm gonna do this like in a quick 1 minute shot, so I can also take this down and put it up as a short. So you guys see this as a short. You guys know I'm doing it live. I'm doing it live. All right. If you remember Mod Nation Racers from PS3, then you definitely remember. Y'all see, now we got to do it again. We're going to try it one more time. If you remember this game right here, yeah, this one, Mod Nation Racers, right? You guys remember that was kind of like Mario Kart. It had a whole lot of cool abilities you could use. It had a whole lot of cool default maps. You could completely customize your vehicle, customize your avatar, and all that was cool. But from a creator standpoint, the coolest thing about Mod Nation Racers was that you could literally make any track you wanted to. You would like get in a little, you could pave the track, move it left and right. You know, you could pave asphalt, you could pave dirt, whatever you wanted. So, can we get that in GTA? Smooth up some roads, take out some medians? Because if we can, I'm pretty sure you remember. I think that's a good way to end it, right, y'all? So it can loop. Because if you can, can we get that added in GTA? Because I should have just left it off at because, so I could go because, and then it go if you remember. I'm working on this YouTube thing, y'all. I'm working on it. All right. So, from what you guys just heard, if you remember Mod Nation Racers, right, then you guys remember how much fun it is, how much fun it was, being able to craft the different tracks, basically whichever way you wanted. And it was so cool because you could populate the track with different side attractions, right? And I'm not asking Rockstar to do all that because I know that is a complete engine change. I know that there's only so much you can do as far as that. Or I'm assuming there's only so much you can do as far as that. So what I propose is for some of the tools that were very revolutionary in Mod Nation Racers, where it felt like they gave you the developer tools to make tracks. Allow creators in GTA to use some of those tools, like changing the elevation of roads. That would be really cool. So allowing us to change the elevations of a road, like make it, you know what? Instead of having this be a flat road, let me make it more of a hill. Or let me make it bank, right? Let me make it dip, you know? That would be so cool. It would add so much variety, and then it would also allow us to make changes to certain parts of the GTA map that are different levels than we would want it to be, right? There's some parts of the GTA map where I've noticed as a creator where I'm like, okay, this is actually really good so far, right? I like the way the race is flowing. And then I will get to a certain part. I'm like, well, this would flow really well just if it wasn't angled the way it was, right? Like, so there might be too low, and it basically causes you to fly forward And when you fly forward, then you're no longer on the track. You fly forward, you hit the wall, and it's just not enjoyable. At least for my personal opinion. Now, some people would argue, well, that's part of the skill gap when you're racing, right? You got to know the track, um, right? You got to be able to brake and be able to acknowledge that, hey, that's there. I can't just go through their full speed, which I partially agree. But there's also some parts of the map where, because the map is the way it is, when it comes to like set roads, certain places only connect to other roads. And there's been times where I've tried to go under, I think it was the bank area, and I was like, well, man, I want to go into this bank area and go into this tunnel. But when you come out of this tunnel, um, there's almost no way, unless you're literally going a snail's pace, to come out of there without flying off into like the river or something. And I don't think it was the river, but point being is allowing a creator to change basically the level or the terrain. How, not saying like create a mountain in the middle of the map, but slightly create the remold the terrain might be a better word. um, Allows create a little more creative freedom and allows maps to flow better. Um, and something that I talked about in the last part of the last podcast. Yo, yo, Rockstar, hear me out. I'm pretty sure this is the bane of every racer creator out there, bruh. When we're making a race, allow us to remove all of these poles, man. Light poles, power lines, allow them to be removable fixtures. I don't know if the reason it hasn't been is because when you guys coded it in, right, light poles and signs are dynamic objects that fall over when you hit them, whereas power poles aren't. But I'm asking, I'm asking for that. All right, we need that. Allow us to remove power poles, trees, um, hard fixtures as well as soft dynamic fixtures. Cause golly, boy, sometimes working around trees, there'll be trees in a median, right? And it creates a nice natural barrier. And sometimes it doesn't. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes it definitely does not, and it just hinders the creation process. So that those need to go. Need to go. And as far as getting back to terrain, there's also some places, right? Like I'll reference up in the hills, near Vinewood. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called in this game, right? Vinewood Boulevard, near Vinewood up north, where because those roads are like along the mountain, it's really cool. But imagine if I could create a bank going around the mountain, which like I'll put up some gameplay here. I'll try to make sure I line it up exactly to what I'm talking about. Imagine we could put up a bank on some of these corners or create a bank, right? And that'd be so cool because it completely changed the flow of the race. It changed, overtaking zones. It changed just the way people enjoy the race. Because I remember as a kid, man, watching people go up on banks in NASCAR, banks on slot tracks. If anyone remembers slot tracks, I might be showing my age a little bit. What's it called? Was it Typeco? Tarco? I think it was Tarco slot tracks. Super fun. Of course, now I think there's Carrera. Carrera's the slot track, bigger slot track maker. But hey, that's so much fun. So much fun. I'm gonna stop reminiscing. But other than slot tracks, allow us to be able to manipulate the world a little bit. Um, to be able to curve through things, right? Like I said, be able to raise and lower elevation. That'd be so cool. And it's just the creator, right? It's not like we're asking to be able to do it to the open world, right? And I understand to Rockstar, right? There might be some risk. Oh, hey, if we put these tools in the game, now modders gonna be able to do it. My answer to that is do your dang job and make sure you take care of modders, not only when it has to do with your money. Respectfully, you know, you know what I mean? All right, cool. um, Now, other than elevation, I think something else that's kind of big that the community might semi agree on is allow us to change pavement type, and not only pavement type but smoothness. So what do I mean by that? Why am I talking about pavement type or smoothness? Um There are some places in the game, right, where the pavement's super smooth, right? It's like high end road, smooth asphalt, and it's good, right? It's cool, it's flat, right? And there's other places where it's bumpy roads, right? Like some of the country roads, um, some of the roads down by Grove Street, right? There's potholes, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with there being potholes, um, or whatever might be the case. But allow us to choose when we're making races, um, what street type we want. And when I say that, not necessarily for like the whole race, we're locked into one street type. But let's say I'm going over Grove Street, right, or Marlowe Drive, because I just looked over. I'm going over Marlowe Drive. Marlowe Drive is paid pretty nice. But let's say instead of it being paid pretty nice, I go, I want a more like a street type pavement, right? With a little more bumps. And I say I want a bumpier road, or maybe I want something as smooth as the airport. And it'd be cool to do that. I know some people are saying, okay, well, what's the reason beyond it being cool? Well, for in certain cases, right, in the race community, we understand that bumpier roads for some cars are better than other cars because they get more of a curb boost. And we even had a whole DLC where cars were put out with certain flags to mitigate for uh, curb boosting, right? And if you don't know what curb boosting is, I got time to go over that. Curb boosting is basically where when a car goes over bumps, certain cars have more than others. Um, it causes the rev limiter to go up, um, and when that rev limit goes up, right, it stays there, right. So it keeps whenever you hit a bump, you basically keep gaining speed by using either the curb, going on and off a curb, or hitting bumps. So I remember back in the day, the custom Jester was faster in the cities because it could curb boost like no other, right? Compared to the Massacro, wasn't as good as curb boosting, so it would fall behind the city. On top of, I mean, it still curb boost, but the Jester already had really good acceleration out of the corners, and then on top of that, it could curb boost. So allowing the creator to choose whether he wants a smooth pavement, right, or a bumpy pavement can change drastically or can change, not maybe not drastically, but can change um, the race pace. And also, let's say someone's making a turn, right, and they're hitting bumps, right. It's gonna be hard for them to maintain that turn for certain cars. Certain cars are really light and they get disturbed easily by hitting bumps. So that would once again kind of make it a nice nuance for racers, right? A nice or annoying nuance. So if the creator goes, well, this would be really annoying to try to deal with bumps there. It'd be better if I had smooth roads there. Allow the creator to put smooth roads. So then, for like I said in the previous podcast, if you have custom vehicle classes and you know these custom vehicles struggle over bumps, it allows for those vehicles to be more effective. And I think overall, these last two podcasts, the overview is that giving the creator more power allows for more people to be involved in races, and it allows for more uniqueness, right? And I think that this is going to be something. If it's not, I don't even want to say it, but if it's not involved in this Grand Theft Auto, and while they're still developing Grand Theft Auto 6, it should be in Grand Theft Auto 6. Okay. I know some people once again might be like, that's not a big deal. Like, dude, what are you talking about? And other people that race might be like, oh, that's a decent idea. So once again, while you guys are here, leave it down in the comments what you think, because I think that would be a great addition, allowing creators to once again change the pavement types or the pavement roughness, um, the pavement types and elevation degrees for like banks and whatnot. So like elevation like this, right? Degrees for like left and right. Um, that would be really nice. It'd be good, right? So for all the reasons I just explained, on top of that, let's see, allow us to choose anywhere in the city, right? And if I didn't preface this, we should be able to do this anywhere in the city. I want to be able to do this to any part of the map that has a road, and even be able to place roads, excuse me, right, further out, because I know some people are saying, well, I know if you ever used the creator before, you can go in, right, and they give you the ability to use the props, right, the props that are already in the game, like the stunt race props, to make a smoother road, and you can change the elevation, but it's a stiff elevation, if that makes any sense. I would like to be able to make gradual curves instead of just here's straight up, straight down. And if you want to make gradual curves, well, you have to do a bunch of smaller, a bunch of smaller straight ones, and change the angle and keep attaching them one next to the other, right? And there's even some that actually are curves, but it is a set angle, right? It's not an angle that you can set. And once I want to use Mod Nation Racers as an example, right? At least for setting elevation. Setting elevation, I'm using controller right now. You'd be able to use your acceleration, deceleration, and you could literally go up, right? You could go up, down, right, and left, and choose how you wanted the pavement to be. And I think that'd be a great way to implement it. So allow it to be like a dynamic up down. I'm choosing how I want the pavement to be, whether that's smooth. I want it to be like a speed hump. No, I wouldn't advise that a speed hump, but allow the creator to choose. And let's get back to the pavement type real quick. Something that I didn't cover that I probably should have is for the different pavement types, right? So allow us to be able to choose and like paint on different pavement types all across the city. So whether that be I want to make this section of the city dirt. All right, so let me make the whole street just dirt on top, like basically make it dirt, right? Or I want to make this section of the street snowy, right? Because we only have snow for a certain um time of the year, and you can't cancel it out, right? Whenever it's snowing, just whenever you go to do races, it's snowing. It's gonna be a little slippery. It's a little annoying, but it's a thing, right? Um, Allow us to be able to do that, and then within those different pavement types, dirt, grass, asphalt, allow us to change the roughness, right? So regular dirt, right, or smooth dirt, where I guess you wouldn't get as much of a speed penalty from driving on it with regular cars, right? Which once again they need to fix the off-road class too. That's a topic for a different day. Um, I might throw it in here. I might throw it at the end of the podcast if I got more time. Um, Regular dirt, right? Smooth dirt, rougher dirt, like gravel dirt. I know you're saying like, boy, why do we need all these types of dirt? Just think of it as visually, right? It's just there to be visually, but as far as effect wise, how much it slows your car's top speed down, um, compared to just driving on the road. So that's why we have these different gradients of dirt. So uh, actually no, I think I am gonna include this part into the podcast. So y'all, I'm gonna throw this in here. This was on the spot. On the spot. This is why you listen to Can We Please? Cause I be coming up with ideas on the spot. My bad. Uh, let's see. I said gravel, dirt, mud, or like wet dirt. Cause I don't want. I'm not asking them necessarily include new things that aren't in the game. Um, because when you do that, I feel like when I do that, then I'm asking for things that might not be possible for them. When I say possible for them to do, less likely for the developers to go, nah, we can't do that. That's like literally adding a whole new asset. So I understand that. When I stopped at dirt, mud, right? Or because mud's already in the game. Let's see, mud. Yep, and like I said, snow, different levels of snow. They already have the snow basically in the game where it kind of works as like mud, right? So it allows us to put different levels of snow, right? You got the thin, icy snow. You have the like kind of just coated snow, and then the thick, like mushy, like I said, almost like mud snow. That'd be really cool, and that's already in the game from like the first story mission. On top of that, tires. Let's talk about tires, y'all. Now this has been for the longest time something that's confused me, right? And for anyone in the racing community, you know what I'm talking about. We used to put off-road tires, and some of us still do. We used to put off-road tires on all of our vehicles one, because it allowed you to curb boost faster, and it allowed cars that were sensitive to bumps to be less sensitive to bumps. Uh, but they never really did anything bonus for off road. At least as long as I'm tracking, as long as I'm tracking. Uh, Shoot, it's some buzz. So allow there to be. They already have programmed in the game compounds of tires, right? So on the surface value, why don't off-road tires, right? Why don't off-road tires perform better on off-road, or just allow any car that they're on to have a benefit from having off-road tires when going off-road? I think that should be a thing. I don't know why that isn't a thing. I'm pretty sure everyone that's in here listening, even if you aren't a GTA fan, agrees that should be a thing. Why not? Why not? Come on now. And then, so off-road tires, right? Maybe just have like two different classes of off-road tires, at least when it comes to racing, or like when you get into the race lobby. um let's see, let's have like all-terrain and then mudding tires, something like that, or all-terrain mud tires. That's good enough. And even then, that doesn't have to be a thing. But while we're on tires, and that off-road tires being stupid because they don't actually provide any benefit off-road, at least as far as I'm tracking right now. um for regular tires, right? Why? So we have the different rims, right? We got the sports rims, we got the off-road, or the super rims, the street rims, we got the track rims. All right, allow allow us for when we go into races, just like how in open wheel races there's already tire compounds. Allow us to have different compounds that we can put on our vehicles. So like an actual tire upgrade, right? Instead of just bulletproof tires, allow us to have soft, medium, hard. You can make it that simple: soft, medium, hard. And what does that do for us, right? You can do super soft, soft, medium, hard. There you go. What does that allow us to do? Allow us to it would allow us to basically tune for grip and wear. And I know you're saying, well, why does wear matter? Because wear is only matters in open wheel. So imagine in the creator, right? You can put tire wear on as an option for racers, and then when you put tire wear on, based on what compound they have saved or what compound they want to use, will determine how much wear the tires have and how much grip they have, or grip and top speed. Um, right? How much grip and top speed that they're gonna have throughout the race, right? And where that's also important is if I get to choose the different pavement types, right? Like I get to choose rougher street type. That means that tires are gonna wear faster, whereas a smoother street type, the tires aren't gonna wear as fast because it's not as abrasive. So I know it sounds complicated, but it really isn't. Think about it. If I were to have a race at the airport, where the airport's a lot smoother pavement, or if someone's using, we'll just use, let's say someone's using soft tires, the tires should last a lot longer on that type pavement than on the street pavement, because the street pavement, let's say near the police station, is a little rougher than the airport. So it wouldn't be something too complicated. It's not like they would have to necessarily add anything new. It'd just be the same system as the open wheel system that they already have. So an option where you could add tire wear or add condition wear. That'd be probably the best way to put it. Add condition wear. Add condition wear, or allow creators to be able to choose if they want to put condition wear in their races. Because a match, man, I think that'd be fun. Once again, making races more dynamic. And even adding something as cool as, while you're out in free roam, right? Your tire compound really doesn't matter as far as gosh dang it, Black Dynamite. Uh, yeah, okay, that's where I was at. So if we put tire compounds in, right, while you're in free roam, allow it just to be like, okay, it's free roam. It changes, how grippy and your top speed is for your car, so you can tune the car the way you want it to be. But in races, right, allow it to be almost be like armor, right? You get to purchase, excuse me, you purchase sets of wheels, right? And instead of like the open wheel now, where it's you choose one compound, that's what it is for the whole race. Let it be like armor, right? So you get to choose, or you get to buy 20. You get to buy like 20. No, that might be too much. Let's do 4 times like 6. You get to purchase tire racks, right? And you get to purchase like 24 tires of each compound. So when you get to purchase 26, or you get to purchase these, when you're in the race and you go to the pit stop, you actually like run through your tires. And once again, like a small thing either in the interactive menu, yeah, small thing in an interactive menu during these races, you're allowed to choose when you go in for a pit stop what tires you want next, right? Just once again adding that extra detail or the extra depth to racing without making it too complicated, right? For those who don't want it, can change it off in the lobby, and for those who don't want it, but like they're in a race and like, oh, this is a thing now, they wouldn't have to change what compound they want. They could just use soft the whole race, right? Start off with soft, use soft the whole race, and whenever they go into the pit, it just takes it from their inventory. Now, what do y'all think about that? Yeah, I bet y'all didn't think about that now, did you? Adding tire compounds, letting it be an inventory item like armor, and you use it up when you go into the pits. I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be really cool. And maybe two. Let's see. Now I'm thinking, y'all, should there be? Would you think there should be if we add tire compounds to GPA? GPA. If Rockstar added tire compounds to GTA and allowed it to be optional in races, what tire compounds do you think there should be? Should there be slicks, street slicks, and oh damn. Let's try this one more time, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm having a brain fart. So the reason I'm having a brain fart is I'm like I could just turn this into a short. So in the middle of the podcast, I'm over here just thinking like, oh yeah, I could turn this into a short right here. Let me get this right the first time, so I can just cut it out. If we were to add tire compounds to GTA, yep, no, I'm redoing it. I'm redoing it again, y'all. Sorry. Tire compounds in GTA. What do you think? What compounds do you think there should be? Soft, super soft, ultra soft, medium, hard, or do you think it should be something more like slicks, streets? What? Nah. Maybe something like an F1 program, but it'd be like an inventory item. I think maybe that we should add them. No, this whole part's getting cut out of the podcast. You guys are never gonna hear this. Ever gonna hear this. So if we were to add tire compounds to GTA, what compounds do you guys think should be added? Maybe wets, winter, super soft, soft, medium, hard. I think that'd be pretty cool. Why not do that? I think that would be pretty cool. Or let's say if you do, ooh, y'all, hear me out. So there would be 2 sets of compounds. I know I'm making more work and just adding more stuff. There'd be 2 sets of compounds. There'd be race compounds, right? And there'd be street compounds. And street compounds would be cheaper to fill, but they wouldn't be as high performance as race compounds. And also race compounds, you'd have to heat up, right? Or like it'd take more laps for the race compounds or more distance for the race compounds to be fully grippy. But the street compounds would be like low end, average, and high end street tires, right? So that'd be cool, right? And it's not once again, it doesn't have to be super complicated. It's just as simple as instead of going into like the armor or the gun shop to buy armor, You go to Simeon's dealership and you look on his wall and you can buy different tire compounds. Simple. Simple. Look, yo, I haven't figured it out. Can we please get tire compounds in GTA 5 and 6? Yo, I'm spitting right now. I'm spitting, boy. Ain't nobody thinking about ideas like this. That's me. I'm him. So yeah, tire compounds and how tire compounds break down and wear. Once again, cool stuff. Cool stuff. Added to GTA. Can it be done? Yes, the systems have already been in place. They've added it before. I have faith that they can do it. Not even worried. Let's get this added to GTA 5 and 6. Tire compounds and tire wear doesn't have to be super complicated. Doesn't need to be like Project Cars. Just have those simple ideas, okay? The airport pavement. It's 0.25 wear. Street pavement. Or good street pavement. High-end asphalt pavement. Point 0.30 wear. Back street pavement. Rough, like, back street concrete. 0.75 wear. Cool. Easy day. That's literally all that needs to be added. And it's by distance, speed, and turning, which they already have for the open wheel. Look at that. Look at that. Who would have thought? I don't think anybody would have thought. Boy, that would be fire. That would be fire. I didn't even have that in my notes, y'all. We came with that off the rip. Let's go on to the last topic. But before we do, today's sponsor is me. Yeah, me. I have merch available on Teespring. If you guys want to go ahead and purchase the merch, take a look. I got hoodies, shirts, hats. We're gonna have mugs, patches, stickers coming. I got white beaters. I got a little bit of everything. Look at this scrolling through. You see this? Yeah, it's scrolling through right here. That's all my stuff. That's me. If you guys want to go support, check it out. I should have stuff coming out every part of the year. No, we're just gonna say I have new stuff coming out in different parts of the year. Today, as of today, it's February 26th. I said I was gonna have stuff up for Black History Month. If you don't see the video, I'm making faces right now. I got 2 days. I got 1 day. I'm gonna still try to put it. No, I got 2 days. I'm still gonna try to put something up. But I'm gonna ask y'all forgive me. Next year, this will be done way in advance. And starting this year, I'm gonna start having like anniversary editions of items. So like some items went up in March of last year of 2021, first year doing merch. I'm gonna start doing 2.0s, 3.0s, and making stuff limited edition only for subscribers, people that support on Patreon or Utreon, whatever the case might be. So, you know, the more you stick around, the more you get. Oh, that ad's over, y'all. Appreciate y'all for sticking around. So, last part of this podcast, we're right around 30-ish minutes, and I'm trying to keep these under an hour. Unless I have guests. If I have guests, I'm going to start making these an hour. Probably. Because the guests are probably going to have some good feedback. I would have loved to have this podcast in the last one with someone like Bruffy. So if you guys want to see me have these podcasts with guests, tweet them. Let them know that I'm looking for a guest on some of these topics. People that are experts in their field or people that, also part of the community. So let's move on. Let's get to it. Last part of this podcast. When it comes to prop placement, I think that's also been a big and annoying thing as a creator. Man, help us with prop placement. I already talked about removing trees, removing like parts of bridges, let's fill in construction areas. But when it comes to rumble strips, man, I want to be able to add rumble strips. Just like, all right, cool. Here's a rumble strip, like paintbrush tool. Add it to this curb. That simple. Just add it to this curb. Like, let me paint on a rumble strip. There's a curb there, rumble strip. Let me use that as a paint tool, like where I'm brushing over a rumble strip and the properties of a rumble strip. Like I said, let us remove medians. Or if there are medians, allow us to put rumble strips in the medians. Like, why can't I do that? Allow us, if there's a natural curve or there's a barrier, right? Instead of us having to place multiple props, allow us to put barriers that's like almost like I said, a paint on tool. Or like if I were to take a string and take the string all along the curb, allow me to put a barrier or give us a tool that allows us to place a barrier all along that curb. And once again, why am I saying this? So instead of me using 20 props to follow this long curb, where I only have 200 props, why? Why I only have 200 props? We got next gen games. Give me a higher prop limit. People have PS5s now. Allow us to use more props and making races easier, right? Like along along the side, what's this called? Where we at right now? Along Rancho / Little Bighorn Avenue, right? You got these railings, right? The regular old car railings, right? That you see in real life that's supposed to keep you from flying off the road. Allow barriers to flow and follow the road like that. Allow that to be a tool in the creator. Put that in there. I need that. All right, I want that. It would make races sometimes, right? In some cases, races would look more like a racetrack instead of the city, which to a certain extent, right? That's part of the joy, right? You're racing through the city, which is why the street update was a lot of fun, because it's almost like playing Need for Speed. You got to take shortcuts, and that was a lot of fun. But allow us to be able to choose whether we want it to look more like there's a racetrack going on in the city, like it's F1 Morocco or Indy Detroit Bel Air. Or not Bel Air. Is that the name of the island? What's the name of the island right now? I can't remember the name of the island. But cases like that where you're basically taking a street course and making it into a legitimate race course. I think that would be really cool. I think a lot of race creators would want something like that and maybe have wanted something like that. And there's some that are really talented and pull it off. And I want to say props to you guys who pull off all those cool races and completely transform the race looks by using containers, props. I give you guys like big shout out. But that doesn't change that I want Rockstar to make it easier. Did I say remove medians? Boy, allow us to remove medians, boy. But there's some turns in some of my races where I'm like, boy, this race would be so much better if there wasn't a stupid median here. All right, so allow us to change that. Come on now, this cannot go on. The pain. Do you know how many races I've seen where it's like, oh, it's a tight race, and next you know there's a median that you have to cross, like that. What's that median called? It's it is near. It's Burton, on Burton Road, and you guys hear me saying roads, you're like, bro, I ain't never heard someone say road names in GTA. The reason I'm saying road names is because I went into the map and like check the road names. So right next to the Rockford Plaza and like all these high-end shops, like clothing stores, next to the mod shop in the middle of the map, that turn. Right, there's a bunch of races that use that sweeping curve on the other side, and you make that turn, and there's just medians. You hit those medians, right? That changed the whole balance of your car. So allow us to remove that. And I think I just went on a rant, but I think this rant's warranted, y'all. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this podcast, another short one. So let me condense it down and remind you guys what we all talked about. In this podcast, we talked all about different pavement types, pavement roughness, and how it would affect tires, tire compounds. Come on now, y'all. I'm gonna need y'all to hype this up and retweet it. Tire compounds, removal of items, higher item limits, and better creator tools. So, thank you guys for watching another episode of Can We Please? Or if you're listening to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, give me a good rating, y'all. Give me like a 5-star, y'all. Give me like a 5-star, all right? Help a brother out. Help a brother out. Thanks everyone for coming. This has been Hershey Rose. I didn't intro myself again. I apologize. Man, we working on it. I will catch you guys in another 2 weeks. Thanks for coming. Peace out.